Okay, so we did the library and we created a data source, and the next item is to create a diagram. So right click and create a diagram and give a name. So data. Okay. So now we are ready to do the analysis. Okay, the first thing to do is to bring in the data into the diagram. So click the data source that we have already created, drag and drop. Okay, so now we have the data. Of course, right now if you look at the imported data, okay, it's going to say, so it's going to give you the data set. You can browse through this. All right, so that's good. Now what we want to do is explore the variables. Okay, so we can do that from here itself, I think. All right. So you can do it from here. You click variables. We did it just a minute ago. So highlight all of them, and then you click explore, and it'll give you a quick look of what we have. And as we saw, there are a bunch of variables with bad data. So let's see. Here we have, I don't know, the systolic blood pressure. Is this normal? Looks like kind of high, isn't it? So I don't know whether that is a valid data or not. So that's something that we need to look at. So here is gender. So here, this one is blank. Okay, there is nothing there, the missing value. Now we have 2 for gender, and then we have uppercase F and lowercase f, uppercase M and an X. So these are all errors in the data that we have to fix. So by looking at the by exploring the variables, then we get a feel for what kind of issues there are. Okay, so the visit is just time ID, so we don't have to worry about that. So now your heart rate, so here this is heart rate of, this definitely is a problem, right? Anybody has a heart rate of 900? Okay, so that's a problem. It's a typo, so we have to fix that. So these are the kinds of issues that we have, and this yellow exclamation mark simply means that there is more data beyond the end. So if you click that, then everything will get bunched up, and you'll be able to see the whole x-axis. Okay, so now let's look at the data itself, and you find that if you click the patient name, and you see that there are some patients that are repeated, okay, which may be okay, may not be okay. It could be the same observation is repeated, or the patient, this is 2 different time dates. Okay, so 2 different dates for the same patient. If it is 2 different dates for the same patient, then those 2 observations should stay. But if it is just a duplicate, then it has to go away, right? So duplicates in the data set is one of the problems that you will face, okay, that needs to be cleaned up. So the way to do that is to set up, okay, so we do this with the code. Okay, so again, we are not going to do a whole lot of coding. There will be off and on very short codes that we have to look at. Okay, so we won't be doing any coding. Okay, I promise you that. And here we need to use transform. No, we're going to use a SAS code here, utility, right, and SAS code. Okay, so that's the node we're going to use. Okay, so in that node we will set up the code that will identify identical records and remove them. Okay, so drag and drop SAS code. Okay, and connect. Okay, and if you click code editor, which is right here, okay, code editor, all right. So code editor gives you a whole bunch of so you have the variables here from the database, right? From the data table. So all of these variables are here. Okay, and then there are some macro variables that are available to access the data sets that SAS Enterprise Miner generates by itself. Okay, and then there are some macros that are available for us to use. But we are going to use just the variables, and here the code is here in the if you look at the Word document. So I have the code in page 9. So just copy paste this, and I will go over the code in just a second. Just go to Word document, page 9, and we have the code there. Okay, and copy paste the code right here. Okay, so there are two statements here. One is sort, and then there is print. Okay. So here there is the input data and then the output data. And this is a macro keyword. Okay, so if you look at macro variables, you will find that EM import data. Okay. The EM import data identifies the data coming in to the node. So remember, we have imported data and exported data, right? So the imported data is EM import data, okay, and then EM export underscore train, that's the exported data. Okay. All right. So we're saying that the data coming in is this, and after sorting, output it in here, and then we are saying that no dup recs. Okay. No duplicate records. Right. And then you can specify what variables to look at for duplication. Suppose if you say by patient number, then you'll only look at that one column, and if the same patient number is repeated, one of them will be gone. The first one will stay, and all the rest will be gone. But we don't want that. We want to keep a patient record if it's on different dates. Okay. What we want to do is to get rid of identical records being repeated. So that's why we're using the underscore all underscore. So that means look at all the variables, and if the values are exactly the same for all the variables, then that's obviously a duplicate, so get rid of it. Okay. And then you're saying, okay, print it and let me take a look. Okay, that's the next one. Okay. All the statements must end with run, okay, and all lines, all the steps must end with run, and all statements must end with semicolon. All right, so now do file, exit, so save. So now you save the code. All right, Now run the node. Okay, let's look at results. So here we have the observations. There are 30 of them. All right, so now you see so here is a couple of them. They are same patient number, but different records. So they have not been eliminated. Okay, so let's look at the imported data and the exported data. So that would be better, right? So imported data. Okay. So when we do browse, we have 31 observations. Okay. Let's look at exported data. So now we have the train data. It's named train now because of the name that we gave. Okay, now browse, and you see that there are only 30 observations. So one of them is gone because of it's identical. Yes.
I'm copying and pasting the code from the Word document. It's still running. It's telling me that when I'm running it, it's.
What does it say?
Just it was expecting it. It says runtime error was encountered.
Okay. And we'll look at it afterwards. Okay. Maybe I don't know. I'll have to look at it to see. So I'll take a look afterwards. Okay.